Right now, new details on the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, while the search is now entering its third week. Plus, essential workers across DHS agencies now working without pay, the impacts of the latest partial government shutdown, and what the holdup is. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Ryder. Right now, Madison police say 3 officers are injured by a suspect who was throwing items off of a balcony. It happened a block away from State Street. Officers responded to West Johnson Street around 5:45 last night for reports of a person throwing things off of a balcony. The items hit a Metro bus and people walking by. Then 3 police officers were hurt trying to take the person into custody. The officers and the suspect were all taken to a local hospital to be treated. We do not yet know their conditions at this time. A Wisconsin man who prosecutors say abducted his 6-year-old niece last year, prompting a statewide Amber Alert, is due in court today. Investigators say last September, Jordan Coyle hid from law enforcement when they tried to detain him. A few days later, the child left the home. She was found with her uncle. A court report accused Coyle of making sexual contact with his niece. The 6-year-old's mother says she and the kids lived in a home owned by Coyle. The mother is also facing charges. Portage prosecutors say Coyle violated his conditions of residing with the child. He was previously convicted in 2008 for child sexual assault. If convicted, the new charge, he could face a life sentence. Coyle will be in court at 1:30 this afternoon for an initial appearance for first-degree child sex assault. Madison police are warning community members about a spike in auto theft cases. Officers are reporting a 19% increase in stolen vehicles this January compared to the same time frame in 2025. Of the 37 stolen autos last month, 68% occurred on the city's east or north sides. Police say anyone who witnesses a vehicle theft in progress should call 911 immediately and avoid approaching the suspect. Investigators searching for Nancy Guthrie are now reviewing surveillance video from Walmarts in the Tucson, Arizona area. They believe the suspect's backpack, mask, and clothes were all purchased there. Here's Jonathan Vigliotti.
As the search for Nancy Guthrie enters a third week, Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie had this message late Sunday for her mother's abductor.
It is never too late to do the right thing.
Investigators are now focusing on items they believe the suspect was wearing the night Guthrie was taken on February 1st, including this face mask they believe was purchased at Walmart and this black Ozark trail hiker backpack sold exclusively at the retail giant. Former FBI Special Agent Jason Pack.
But this ultimately could boil down to something as simple as who bought this backpack.
Absolutely. We've been able to track these things back if they've used a credit card or cash.
Meanwhile, the FBI announced Sunday it's entering DNA recovered from a pair of gloves into its database.
What happens next now with these DNA results?
If they're able to match the DNA from inside that residence with the glove they found on the outside, then that's where you got the home run.
As the search goes on, so do a community's prayers. Residents are leaving behind personal messages calling for Guthrie's safe return.
The whole world just wants to know where she is and help find her, because I think that's how much people love the family, the Guthrie family, all over.
And the sheriff tells me that Walmart has handed over purchase records specifically pertaining to that backpack, including names going back several months. We have reached out to Walmart. So far, we have not heard back. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Tucson, Arizona.
Over the weekend, federal and local law enforcement conducted a search warrant on a home less than 2 miles from Guthrie's and later searched a gray Range Rover outside a local restaurant, but made no arrests. Let's get a first check of your first warn forecast. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller. Not feeling like February out there today, but no complaints here.
Yeah, I had to double check the date here, February 16th, and we were at 56 degrees. It feels like 56 with a light southwesterly wind. Those southwesterly winds today working extra hard to get us into that record-setting heat. We're taking a live look there at our Edgewater Skycam off towards Lake Mendota outside the Union Terrace. Again, folks, if you're planning on getting out on the lake, I saw some folks out on Mendota Bay driving in. Just continue to use caution even in the heart of winter. No ice is 100% safe, and especially with these warmer temperatures, we're going to be doing a lot of melting over the next couple of days. Record high temperature for today's date in Madison, 57 degrees, so we just have to get above that, and we're currently at 56 as we kick off the noon hour. We're not the only ones who could set record high temperatures today. A couple of communities, to say the least, across southern Wisconsin could easily set new record high temperatures today as we begin to flirt with the 60s in Monroe, Janesville, Lone Rock, the Dells even at 57. We're there in Platteville. Prairie du Chien, we're coming in close at 58 degrees with these southwesterly winds and plenty of sunshine. It is very possible we get into those low 60s across a lot of southern Wisconsin on this Monday. But that is going to be not the case as we look ahead to later parts of this week. We'll cut our highs today in half. Back into the 30s we go with snow in the forecast. All of that before some thunderstorms. We're timing it all out in just a few minutes.
Now that's a Wisconsin forecast for you.
Yeah, this is that false spring that everyone keeps talking about.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Happening now, the River Food Pantry is hosting a special drive-through donation drop-off event. It's part of their Pack the Pantry campaign, and News 3 Now is a proud sponsor. Maya Tate is live on Madison's north side with how you can help. Hi, Maya.
Hi, Josh. Well, so today the River Food Pantry is looking to fill up their brand new warehouse. And here's how you can get involved. From now until 4 p.m. today, you can stop by and drop off non-perishable food items, other daily essentials, or even money. Every donation today will be matched up to $10,000. And you can drive through what would usually be used to pick up your donations, but today you can drop it off until 4. And really, no donation is too big or too small. I've talked to somebody earlier today who was just happy to be at the grocery store, heard about it, grabbed a couple extra things, and stopped by. But so yeah, from now until 4, you can stop by, and if that doesn't work for you, there will be a bin outside that you can drop off any other time. We're reporting now from the River Food Pantry, Maya Tate, News 3 Now.
Maya, thank you. Essential workers like TSA agents are now showing up to work without pay amid a partial government shutdown, along with more than 50,000 Coast Guard members. Other DHS employees are furloughed, including nearly 2/3 of the federal cyber defense workforce, which protects critical infrastructure. Lawmakers on both sides are blaming each other for the impasse over proposals to reform Trump administration immigration enforcement tactics. This, of course, follows the clashes and the shooting deaths of 2 American citizens in Minnesota. Among the changes Democrats are pushing for, an end to roving patrols, tightening rules around warrants for ICE arrests, and blocking federal agents from wearing masks.
We're willing to have a good faith conversation about everything, but fundamentally we need change that is dramatic, that is bold, that is meaningful, and that is transformational.
I don't like the masks either, but because threats against ICE officers are up over 1,500%, actual assaults, and threats are up over 8,000%.
Congress is back in session on February 23rd, giving lawmakers just days to come up with a deal before the first missed paycheck for federal workers in March. Online enrollment is now open for the Madison School District's 4K and 5K programs for next school year. Children who will be 4 years old on or before September 1st, 2026 and either live within or outside of MMSD's attendance boundaries can enroll. Families living outside the district's boundaries will also need to apply for open enrollment. Children already enrolled in the district's 4K program will automatically move up to 5K. Families in need of assistance can make an in-person or virtual appointment for February 23rd from 2 to 6 in the evening by using the district's Find Your School tool. Still ahead for us on News 3 Now at noon. If you have a question or concern about your plants or garden, now's the time to send us your questions via email to tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us later in the broadcast with the answers. But first, after the break, what finished on top of the weekend box office? Plus, why the FDA is recalling a specific brand of baby food.
One lot of Tippy Toes brand apple pear banana puree baby food has been recalled because a sample contained elevated levels of patulin. No illnesses have been reported so far, according to the Food and Drug Administration. Long-term exposure to the toxin, which forms from fruit mold, may cause health issues like immune suppression, nerve damage, and fever. The product was sold in all U.S. states except Alaska and possibly in some U.S. territories, with a best buy date of July 17th this year. Caregivers are urged to throw the recalled product away or return it to the place of purchase for a refund. The 2026 Toy Fair is underway in New York. Among the brands unveiling new products are Lego with its new Smart Play Star Wars sets, and Mattel, which showed off new lineups of Hot Wheels and Masters of the Universe figurines. The Toy Fair kicked off on Valentine's Day at the Javits Center and runs through Tuesday. And Wuthering Heights toppled the domestic box office this longer Valentine's Day and President's Day weekend, racking up nearly $35 million through Sunday. Family-friendly fellow newcomer GOAT captured second with $26 million, and thriller Crime 101 debuted at the number 3 spot, earning more than $15 million so far. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
FYI, no stock report today due to the President's Day holiday. Straight ahead for us at noon, Blaze is tracking the first warn forecast, and later on Live at 4. If you haven't started your taxes yet, it's okay. There's still plenty of time to do so. We're going to show you a free way to prepare. No farm markets today for the President's Day holiday, so Pam Yankee will be back in the radio barn tomorrow. With that, it's time for your certified most accurate forecast in Madison with First Warn meteorologist Blaze Keller. What a way to start the week.
I know, 50s and 60s record heat today. Enjoy it. Take the dogs on a longer walk. Get out, soak up the sun, because things are going to change as we get into the second half of next week, or this week. Cooler temperatures, and we'll bring back that chance for some snow. Some actually much needed snow. We need to accumulate about 13 inches by the end of the month, and we're halfway through. So we got a limited amount of time to get the necessary snow to really offset the still continuing drought conditions. But the rain tomorrow night into Wednesday will help. And again, the little snow that we may pick up Thursday night into Friday may help as well. Confidence is growing with that second system. Confidence remains high for that first system expected Tuesday night through Wednesday. That is going to bring us rain as well as a few thunderstorms, maybe an isolated severe chance. As I mentioned, confidence is growing for that second system later Thursday night into at least Saturday morning, bringing us a rain-snow mix, turning over to snow. So let's talk about the first one set to arrive Tuesday into Wednesday. We have a general thunderstorm threat. So when you think of just a typical thunderstorm, this is what we're expecting later Tuesday night into early Wednesday as our first system moves on through. It's going to spark up those showers as we get into the second half of your Tuesday, continue overnight, with the thunderstorm chance likely going to be between about 11 p.m. Tuesday and about 3 a.m. on Wednesday as this low pressure system moves on through the Midwest. By 6 a.m., the clouds are out. We remain quiet for the rest of Wednesday. It will be breezy, but we will be back into the 50s. So with that isolated severe weather chance, let's talk about what is working for and against that chance. First and foremost, we have a little bit of atmospheric energy. So a little bit of food for these storms, which is used by both general and severe thunderstorms. So this will potentially just fuel the normal garden variety thunderstorms. It is on the lower end because we are still early in the year. We are also not seeing really adequate dew points. We want that moisture around, especially this early in the year, and these dew points would need to be in the 50s and 60s at the very least. Temperatures will be similar to where these dew points are. They could stand to be a little bit warmer as well. So we have some ingredients. We don't have all the necessary ones. I would say the biggest thing working against us, or that chance for severe weather, is the fact that this is happening early Wednesday morning. Even during the heart of severe weather season, early morning severe weather is really hard to come by. Of course, stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated should a severe thunderstorm develop. And if it were to develop, I would say probably expect hail and strong winds as the main threats. Then we look ahead to Thursday night into Friday. Throughout Friday, that rain will turn over to a mix and then turn over to snow as this low pressure system pulls down more winter-like air to end this week going into the upcoming weekend. It's a little bit too early to talk snow totals, so probably by about Wednesday we will certainly have a much better picture because, as I said, my confidence is growing. It's not as high as that first system expected Tuesday into Wednesday. So bear with us. We will keep you updated. There is a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. a beautiful President's Day, plenty of sunshine, and then as I just showed you, things change, and we are back into the 30s starting on Friday. We will be there through about the middle of next week, so enjoy fall spring while it's here.
Yeah, I'm going to worry
I don't know
about
what else to say.
The tail end of that forecast another time. I'm just all in today.
I'll try to cover it up.
I didn't even wear a coat today.
How's that? There, you can only just see the 60s.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blaze. Well, the Overture Center says it has reached its $30 million fundraising goal. The campaign was launched almost 10 years ago to create a permanent endowment for the center that would pay for needed maintenance and improvements to the building. Money raised through the campaign has already been used to install a new hot water boiler system, upgrade the building's cooling system, install new lighting controls and wireless microphones, and replace the building's roof. The Beach Boys will headline the final day of the Wisconsin State Fair this year. The performance will be part of the band's latest tour, The Sounds of Summer. While founding members Carl Wilson, Brian Wilson, and Dennis Wilson have since passed away, and co-founder Al Jardine has long since left the group, vocalist Mike Love continues to tour with the band. The show will be on August 16th at 6 p.m. Tickets go on sale on Friday on the State Fair's website. We have a link to that on channel3000.com. Just ahead of noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and gardening questions. You can email them to tips@channel3000.com, and we'll get the answers next. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Email them to tips@channel3000.com. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, happy full spring.
Yes, I think a lot of people have spring fever because the questions are rolling in. We're up to 5 already.
Yikes.
Yes,
okay.
We're excited though. All right, let's get right to it then. We're going to start with Connie. Connie says she has a peace lily that she got last year. It needs to be repotted. Can she do that this time of the year? She says it's not blooming right now.
Yes, now that the days are getting longer, it's an appropriate time to repot your houseplants. Just make sure, Connie, that if it's in a 6-inch pot, that you don't go bigger than an 8-inch pot. So you could increase whatever you have by 2 inches and no more than that, and use some good quality potting soil.
All right, question number 2 comes from Carrie. Carrie has a 7-foot tall maple tree that grew up from seed in their backyard. They'd like to have it transplanted, and we're wondering if they could find a good arborist who can advise them on the process. This is near Jefferson.
Okay. So, yes, you can transplant it. If you contact our plant desk, we have a list of arborists in the area that we have worked with, and so that's plantdesk@brucecompany.com.
All right, easy peasy. Let's get to Steve now. Steve asks, is there a good way to trim the very top of the emerald green arborvitas if they are getting taller than you want? Also, will this inhibit future growth of the arborvita? Also, when is a good time to trim them?
So emerald arborvitae are nice because they have a single leader and they're less prone to splitting than some of the other varieties, some of the older varieties. If you top that off, then what you're doing is you're opening up that propensity for them to split. So it's not good practice. They generally get about 10 to 15 feet tall. If you have an area that's much smaller than that, that's where you need it shorter, best to look at some of the other varieties that are going to keep smaller. They grow more slowly, but they're more of a dwarf size. So you can top it, but it's not a good long-term solution.
And what about timing-wise?
Timing-wise, you want to do any evergreen pruning end of June into July. Okay. Now is not the time to do that.
All right, good to know. Let's get to questions from Sue now. Sue asks, is it true you're supposed to water your spider plants with distilled water?
Some plants do like distilled water just because there aren't any salts and chemicals in it. What we do at the garden center is we just let the water settle in the container overnight, and that way all the salts and things will just go to the bottom, and then you can use the water from the top. What it does sometimes is it will cause spotting on the leaves, or sometimes the very tips will turn brown.
All right, we got 30 seconds.
Okay.
Let's get to Susan's question. Susan asks, is it too late to trim apple trees?
It is the perfect time to prune fruiting trees. So yeah, pears, apples, cherries, all that stuff, go ahead and do that pruning now. Today and tomorrow look like they'll be great days.
Perfect. Good questions today. Happy Fool's Spring.
Happy Fool's Spring.
Lisa, thank you. Here's Blaze now with that spring-like forecast for now.
Plenty of sunshine today. We'll get back into those 60s by later this afternoon, setting new record high temperatures for many across southern Wisconsin. A warm evening headed into those 40s before we welcome in some thunderstorms on Tuesday night and some snow and cooler temperatures starting later Thursday. So enjoy the warmth while it's here. We might flirt with the 60s again on Wednesday before we hang out in the 30s Friday through the middle of next week.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now Noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is live at 4, and you can find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.